What is up everybody, welcome back to the Crew 2, and in this video I'm going to take a look at the KTM X-Bow GT2 that was part of the Season 8 Episode 1 update. So the first thing that came to mind with this car is going to be the fact that it is actually new in the touring car category. At first I thought it was going to be like the GT4 here, and or the regular GT4 that's basically fully carbon fiber. It turns out guys, this car is actually going to be based on the GTX in the hypercar category. So I'm actually really happy to see this vehicle in this class as well, which funnily enough I always thought the GTX was kind of part of the touring car class and or like the race car type of vehicle, and it turns out they actually added the GT2 version of this into the game. So this thing is looking pretty awesome, and from some testing I really do think this X-Bow is going to be worth a look. It's also insanely fast and it handles exactly similar to the one in the hypercar class, so this thing is going to be eating corners for breakfast, and with that handling update, it's going to make it that much better. So now taking an outside look of the KTM here guys, the first thing I actually notice is how much this car obviously looks like the one in the hypercar class. It's basically going to be the exact same vehicle with some different coloring on it. I also do think the interior is going to be slightly different but also very similar as well. So this car is definitely going to be really nice to look at. It also sounds pretty dang good. It really is incredible to me how KTM makes motorcycles and or dirt bikes, which is technically also a motorcycle, but I'm thinking about street bikes. Nonetheless though, the fact that they also make these cars as well is kind of insane. I do believe the X-Bow in real life, like the regular X-Bow that's in the Alpha GP class, I do believe something like that does actually use an Audi engine in it as well, so these things are definitely going to be pretty incredible with the engineering behind them. It really is crazy to think about the testing that goes behind these vehicles, all the way down to the suspension, to the spoiler, to the frame. Like, I really do respect what they put into these vehicles to actually make them race, and even racing in itself is also going to be a completely different animal. But jumping right into the interior now guys as well, I do want to show this. So obviously it is going to be a race car. I know, kind of shocking, right? But this thing is definitely going to look pretty awesome. The entire car is going to be carbon fiber, literally the entire thing. I instantly think about that meme when I say that as well, but this thing is definitely going to look pretty insane in the interior. And then looking at the steering wheel dashboard, you guys are going to notice the RPM reader. You will also have yourself the speed you are going, which is going to be in kilometers. You also have the gear that you're in, plus the gain loss and or G's, I believe that is, engine oil, temp, and all that stuff, which obviously a lot of that is not going to move, but at least it gives you some detail with that stuff in there. So this KTM is definitely pretty awesome, and it's probably going to be a lot of people's favorite. But besides all that guys, let's see what the top speed of the X-Bow GT2 is actually going to be. So it looks like this car does redline at 7,000 RPMs there. And one thing I do want to mention, the hypercar one actually does like 295 or so, and I definitely highly doubt this one's actually going to get close to that. So with a nitrochemist set, it hits around 258 to 259 miles per hour, so it's going to be up there with many of the other touring cars. I did notice that's normally around the top speed of these vehicles. I notice even the bikes in this class do like 255 as well, which the bikes are also going to be good in their own way, but I do feel like to a certain extent they might be able to be in their own class, but that's honestly a different topic. Overall though guys, I really do feel like the touring class is definitely going to be pretty interesting now, and having something like this GT2 is going to mix up the touring car class that much more. So with the KTM GTX and or turning into a GT2 in the touring car class, I feel like is going to mix up things even more. I have been testing out certain vehicles in this class guys, and my goodness, the cars feel so much better. Definitely stay tuned for a lot of them coming in the near future. I will be redoing videos on them and or just doing new testing with all of them to really see how they do handle now. My goodness, the GT2 for example feels basically better than the one in the hypercar category, and that's actually one of my favorite cars to use in that class because of the way that it does handle, and the GT2 is actually going to handle even better, which is kind of insane. You can actually feel like the car is basically sticking to the ground around corners. It's also going to accelerate very nicely as well, and you can actually nitrous out of corners with these cars as well. I was noticing this with the Spiker a little bit when I was testing that car out a bit. And I did notice with the GT2, when you guys actually go around corners, you can actually hit your nitrous coming out of them now and the car will not slide out. I really do love having that feature on these vehicles. Plus, it's going to make you a lot faster as well. You can basically find yourself having a lot more speed in areas that you couldn't before. So having that speed increase coming out of corners and or being able to use your nitrous when in the corners, I did notice is going to help tremendously. And one way, guys, I also noticed you could probably get a better time on is going to be the summits. That way, when you're going around those corners, you can find yourself being a lot faster. So many positive changes in so many different ways with this update. Like, it's awesome. And having another vehicle like the GT2 added into the touring car category is just going to make this that much more interesting because, my goodness, I really do feel like you could probably run so many different vehicles now in these events and still easily score with some of the higher ranked vehicles that were in this class before. Even though some of those also got the handling update, I still really feel like a lot of these cars like the GT2 are also going to be insanely good. I will be trying out some of these oddball vehicles in future summits to really see what they can do. And I have a feeling if most of the cars are going to be handling better, we are definitely going to be seeing a bigger vehicle variety as well. So I cannot wait to see how the summits are going to end up changing with all of these cars actually being good now. But let me know what you guys think about the KTM X-Bow GT2 in the comments below. And here are the settings I'm currently running on this vehicle.